Hey, everybody. Quick chat today. Welcome to the Off Grid Farm. And kind of going through, I don't know everybody is aware or not, but we monitor our power from our Tesla power walls off our Tesla app. So right now we're bringing in 8.4 kilowatts. We're using 1.1 kilowatts. And that's all well and great. I'm going to get more into that because I think I take for granted that we look at this every day and really use this to manage our power with our power walls and our solar shed. You can see off in the background there. I'll run that. That was from this morning. Here we are this morning taking a walk. But one of the neat things today that I was going to bring up was that there is this feature. This is a new feature, and it's 2024. Do I pick that up on my camera? 2024 recharge. Sorry if it's not. There we go. 2024 recharge. So you could click on this and it gives you your whole usage, your power usage for the year. This hasn't been on the app before. We've been off grid for 3 years now. We've been on the power walls and the Tesla. We got 36 Tesla solar panels or Panasonic solar panels installed by Tesla. And so this is a new feature. And so I wanted to bring up our year in review because I think there's some things that are really interesting. Actually, we're just going to look at it together. This is the second time I've looked at it because it just popped up on my screen here. And so let's play this thing. This recharge, they call it Tesla Recharged. And so it was saying October was our highest generation month and our highest energy value. Like $1,100. Saying we saved $1,100. That's probably like in 1 month. That's one of the things. We'll go back for one quick second here. So it's saying we saved. Sorry, I'm like squinting in. I could probably just look at my phone to see it. We saved $1,100. There was when we were living at we live not too far from where we are now, just a mile away. There was some winters where we would easily spend $1,000 quickly in whether it was electricity, home heating oil, whatever that case might be. And so I don't quite know where they got this figure from or how they calculated it, but I should probably calculate the actual amount based on power usage and kilowatt hours we used and what the charge rate is in New England where we live. So it would be my guess is it'd be closer to 6,000-7,000, somewhere in that range. So that's that. But let's see what else. They got some other good numbers. I bet they're going to break it down. So now we've got fancy graphic. 6.1 megawatts of energy has been stored on our power wall. That's pretty good. I think 6.1 megawatts good. I'll have to do some calculations and figure it out. 200 days of off-grid power. Now again, it's saying we had 200 days of off-grid power, and we live off-grid all the time. So I don't know. There's got to be some calculation when we pull our system offline off the power walls and we now plug it into our car. That's kind of probably if it's not running off power wall power, which is what this is all gauging. It's running off of our Hyundai Ioniq 5 power. So 1 o'clock p.m. was our highest power usage time load. And June 20th was the, and that makes sense. We both work. My wife has a lot of clients around then, so it was a high energy usage. And okay, what's this one say here? So our system backed up our home during outages for 8,188 hours. That's a lot of time. We do some quick math right now. So that's 8,188 hours divided by 24 hours in a day. So that's 341 days, if I'm reading that right. And again, the rest of that time in aggregate is probably us being on the car, waiting for our solar panels to charge, waiting for storms to pass. We have about 1 to 2 days of backup power, just before we start to need to depend on another source of energy to kind of help us supplement our power systems. We could shut everything down and go even longer than that, but just in terms of functioning normally. So so that makes sense. Our system protected us from 43 outages. Top 1% of all owners. I can imagine that because we again live entirely off the grid. So that makes sense. And so here, look, fancy power lines, exploding house, 8,096 hours. Yay. Our house floats in midair, apparently, on the Tesla app. And I screenshotted that because that makes sense. Yep. I'm gonna just want to take that one into consideration. Fancy graphic. Stormwatch had our back 19 times this year. So I don't know what that's. That probably just kicking on. It's if we had Stormwatch enabled, it would have stored extra storage in our battery, and then that way, when it was anticipating we lost power, it would know that it had full battery pack, full charge to get us through, whatever outage we needed to. So 221 days this year, our home usage was net zero. Although, I mean, I would argue it was probably, I mean, it depends on, I guess, how it all works out, but we're probably net zero all the time. I don't know. So let's see, net zero days, I averaged 32.4 kilowatts of solar generation. And again, we're in the winter time now. So this is a different conversation for a different day. But the three things you have working against you in the winter is you have shorter daylight hours. You just don't have enough hours to produce sunlight. You have a lower arc in the sun, so you're just not getting that like high arcing, baking the solar panels and getting so much solar power. You're getting a much lower arc, much more limited time period, and it's colder. It's colder, so the efficiency decreases. We see it most in our car. I never really realized it until we got the Hyundai and realized that between 10 20% of an efficiency loss in the winter when it's freezing is not unusual for lithium ion. So I don't know. That's 221 days off grid. I mean, we're off grid. We're either on the car, or on the power walls. Calculating our energy archetype, villain or hero. Is that what this is going to be? Like it's going to be guardian, a guardian of the galaxy. I could take that. Groot. Maybe it'll turn into like Groot. But that's good. What does that mean? It means our backup hours were in the top 1% of Tesla energy owners. I mean, I buy that because we're always on Tesla power. I mean, 2024, 100% self-powered, $1,100 saved, energy value. Again, I don't know how they calculate that. We're a lot more than $1,100. Solar generated 11.1 megawatts, and solar offset 106%. That's interesting. How do we offset 106% of our usage when we have no grid tie? So you'd figure we'd use everything we had, or maybe I don't know, charged the car, charged other batteries. I'm not 100% sure, but solar power being 100%, that makes sense. 11.1 megawatt solar generated, that makes a lot of sense. That's a lot of power. I'm happy with that. Those are good statistics. There's some tweaks that we would do to our system. And I think that that's something to talk about. When we designed our system, when we designed our off-grid setup here at the farm, it was 5 years ago. Power walls were really our only option. There was no EcoFlow, there was no Generac, there was no other options or opportunities that were available, and now there are. And I would maybe do things a little different, and that's a video we want to get into. But for our year in review, um, I think that I think that it's neat to see visualize with their fancy graphics. It's neat to see it visualize this Tesla Recharged app, and it's nice to know that I guess we're on par with being in the 1% of users, considering that we use it all the time. So shout out to Tesla and the engineers particularly that make this product. Everything interfaces in a very unique way on our farm, and knock on wood, we're having some good luck with it. And so we're going to keep producing our power, making our power in the winter, and hopefully, next year we keep building on everything we're learning this year. All the mistakes, definitely, that we're learning, but all of the good things we're learning too. So I hope everybody is having a good holiday week and has enough power for your day, inside and out. And we've got a lot of exciting things coming up. I have a bigger video on solar paint that I think is really interesting, because I think that's a cool subject. And just design the overall design of our project, of our house, and how we live off grid, how to design for off grid, and create some kind of hybridized living so that you have the best of all opportunities. So that's about it for now. Take it easy, everybody.